Dial an Uber is here. You can now order an Uber by calling on the telephone. It's true. Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone. Mark here. It's Joe time, and today we are going to talk about ways that you can order an Uber through the telephone. Now, the reason that Uber did this is they realized they were missing out on a huge market, that being the market that affects, for the most part, older people. People that may not be so acclimated to using app-based services. I see some issues here. Now, this is not completely rolled out. Please understand, this is just in the beta testing phase, but I'm going to read this article. It came to me through TechCrunch, and there's some interesting aspects to this, whether you're a driver or a rider with the Uber rideshare platform. So let's take a look at what this says. The headline reads, Dial an Uber lets users talk to an actual human to hail a ride. Uber is piloting a new feature aimed at older adults that will let customers dial a 1-800 number to speak to an actual human to hail a ride. Now, the first thing that I see here is this is going to be extremely labor intensive. And historically, Uber has said the way that they are going to reach profitability is by reducing manpower, right? They have been cutting their employee base. They've been talking about trying to get driverless cars going, all of that in an effort to have fewer and fewer and fewer people that they have to pay. Well, now by going to a pickup service, they're going to need a lot of people. And if that service ever gets backed up, people aren't going to want to use it because they're going to say, I need a ride. No one's picking up the phone. I see that as being the first potential issue. I mean, if you need a ride, right now when we use the app, we know right away where that driver is, if the driver's coming to get me, how far away they are. If I call up and it rings and rings and rings and maybe it goes to a voicemail, your call is very important to us, please hang on, I'm not feeling good about it, but let's go on. The move isn't just a departure from its app roots. It's another sign that Uber is trying to transform into a transportation company that serves a larger customer base. This is my second issue. Oh my goodness, for the past year and a half, at least as long as Dara Khosrowshahi has been in charge, they have been trying to position themselves as a tech company, not as a transportation company. And I think by moving away from technology and getting to picking up the phone, they are reinforcing the idea, no, we're not a tech company at all. We are a transportation company. I know this is a whole nother issue, especially for riders. You probably don't care about this side of it. However, it means a lot to drivers. That's what the whole AB5 thing was about in California. No, we're not a transportation company. We are a tech company. Now, just like this article, I don't think this article, the author even realized the significance of that statement. They're moving away from their app roots to trying to transform it into a transportation company. It's completely the opposite of how Uber wants to be portrayed. But let's go on. The Dial an Uber feature was designed with older adults in mind. However, anyone preferring conversational support will benefit from the pilot. The company, that's a company, I don't know if it's a quote or a paraphrase. The feature was built based on feedback from older adults who told the company that live conversations and simplicity of experience can make a difference in their transportation needs. Yeah, what they're saying is, I don't get it. I don't understand how these apps work. Make my life simple. Personally, I think there's nothing simpler than opening up the app and tapping your location and going. I still see another problem, but let's go on. After dialing 1-833 use Uber, pretty good number, the customer will be paired with a live team member that confirms their trip request and provides an upfront price quote. So basically, it's going to do the same things the app is doing, only you're talking to someone. Here's where I see the problem, but let's continue before I come back to that. There's some important caveats to this feature that could shut out folks who don't own a cellular phone. Customers must still have a phone to receive SMS. Why don't they just say text, right? SMS is what? Short message service? Just text messages. I guess that there is a difference, right? So, SMS messages to receive important messages about the ETA of the ride, driver's license plate details, and driver's name. So, even though you call, they're not going to be able to give you the name, the plate number, all that stuff that they say is the built-in safety feature. Is this going to doom it to failure? I don't know. I see a bigger issue that is not being addressed just yet. Users will continue to receive messages before and during a trip. Once it ends, they'll receive a trip receipt. Well, if they need the app anyway, it kind of defeats the purpose in my mind. The company will initially launch the phone number 1-833-USE-UBER in Arizona. I wonder why. Well, of course, Arizona is an area where there are a lot of retirees. Arizona tends to be their testing ground. I don't know if Arizona is just friendly to Uber, if they have laws, rules, regulations, policies in place that make rideshare be a good launching point. Remember, they did their self-driving vehicle testing in Arizona. But I think the biggest thing, Arizona and Florida are the two big population bases where we see retirees, right? There is no extra charge for using this service, although Uber noted that carrier message and data rates may apply. Anyone in the state can call the phone number to hail an Uber in the cities where the service is currently available. They can also request the specific type of ride, such as UberX, Uber Comfort, Uber Black, Uber SUV, as well as Uber Assist and WAV, Wear Assistance. That's the, isn't that the wheelchair accessible vehicle? Uber said it will expand the dial in Uber to more states in coming months. I still see an issue. Uber was also explicit that the 1-800 number is not meant for general customer support inquiries. Okay, they say that. I'll tell you, if you're talking about people that are not tech savvy, that's the only number they're going to have. They are going to be inundated with support calls. They are going to be inundated with people saying, "Where's my ride? I called for my ride 15 minutes ago. Nobody's here." It is going to be turmoil. That's my prediction. Although I do have my Swami hat. It's over there on the shelf. I'm not going to run and get it. But one of my predictions is going to be that the chaos and turmoil that's going to result from this. And the confusion. I don't know if it's alleviating confusion because, number one, people are having to call and still need the app. So it's adding layers to that cake of simplicity rather than taking away. But here is the big thing. The big problem that I see. And that is, where is this call service going to be located? One of the complaints that I hear from drivers is, I'm always getting foreigners, they have trouble with the language. And this is not even coming, from people I can say, well, they're racist if they don't want to talk to someone with an accent. I think it goes deeper than that. If I am calling from Scottsdale and I want to ride, do I feel comfortable that this guy in Bangladesh is going to understand where to send my Uber vehicle? I'm not saying that's going to be a real problem. What I'm saying is that's potentially the way it's going to be perceived. And let's face it, perception is reality, at least for those people. If they call someone and they get someone that they have the perception, it might not even be a foreign country, but if they have someone that they perceive is not from their area, how comfortable are they going to feel ordering a ride? When I travel, and sometimes I do order car services, most of the time I will say I travel with Uber. I don't even use Lyft. I travel with Uber most of the time. But when I travel with car services, I really want to make sure they know what I'm talking about, because oftentimes a lot of businesses, especially when you're talking about apartment complexes and condos and that sort of thing, they go by names, right? Well, I'm going to Cactus Estates, in Phoenix. Do I feel that the guy who is answering the phone from a foreign country is really going to fully understand what that is? I see that as being a huge problem because we're talking about an older population who has been raised talking to people on the phone. They've been raised having personal customer service experiences. They have gone through life working with their local banker and being able to go in and say, "Hi Bob, how you doing? Hey, can you check my account?" Nowadays, they don't want to do that anymore, right? The banks are all huge conglomerates and they want you to do everything online. And if you're trying to address that need, are you going to have locally based telephone, I don't want to call it support, I don't know you would call that, but the request line? I see that as being huge. So, although I hate to be, to throw cold water on this thing, I do see a lot of issues. Number one, I see the issue with duplicity. You're trying to get away with app-based, but they're still going to be required to have the app if they're going to get the name, the make, model, color, the car, the license number, all of that. Number two, if people don't pick up the phone right away. Number three, if there's a perception that they are not local. Number four, people are going to be calling that number for a lot of reasons other than just ordering the ride. I see a lot of hurdles for Uber to overcome. If they can overcome these, I think this is going to do really well. I think it'll be a short-lived program. And when I say short-lived, I'm talking in relative terms, 5 to 10 years. Because as the population ages, the people that are comfortable using technology will move into that demographic. Of course, a lot of you are going to say, 10 years, you really think Uber is going to be around in 10 years? I don't know. Their stocks are getting better. They're up to $39, $40 now. And for a while there, they were down around 24 bucks. So we will see. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Leave your comments down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking my face in the corner. And don't forget to ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. For Joe Time and Ride Day Friday, I'm Mark, and this is Mark's Travel Time.